To the Great American Bash, we are coming to you from the Greensboro Coliseum in beautiful Greensboro, North Carolina. The following contest will be the Skyscrapers of Big Sid Vicious, Dangerous Dan Spivey, and Mean Mark going against the Road Warriors of Animal Hawk and their manager, Precious Paul Ellering. Now, it was back in San Antonio when Sid Vicious powerbombed Paul Ellering, taking him out of action. Has not been able to manage the Road Warriors over the last week or so, and Paul Ellering making his first appearance since being powerbombed by Sid. And this match will take place in Texas Tornado Tag rules. All 6 men are legal at the same time. The first team to secure a pinfall victory will win, and away we go. And Sid Vicious goes right after Paul Ellering, taking him down. Sid, starting off where he left off, picks up Ellering and spins him in a helicopter spin. Dan Spivey working over Hawk and Animal on the outside with Mean Mark. Sid with Precious Paul into the turnbuckle hard and follows up with misses a clothesline. And Paul Ellering from behind has some measure of revenge on Sid. Now Ellering working the arm of Sid. Ellering with a big right hand, a second right hand, and a third. Stuns Sid. Oh, and Sid answers back and clotheslines Ellering. Ellering rolls to the outside, and Sid joins him. Animal working over Mean Mark up top, and drops him across the ring apron. Sid whips Ellering hard into the guardrail, and Hawk tosses Dan Spivey over the top rope. So much action here, folks. Sid has Ellering, into the ring post. Now head first into the ring post goes Ellering. Animal with a cover on Mean Mark, only gets a 1. Animal working over the neck of Mean Mark. Hawk and Dan Spivey are out in the ringside, and Sid just missed a kick on Paul. Paul Ellering with an uppercut takes Big Sid Vicious down. Oh, fans, the action is all over the arena here in Greensboro. Sid misses a clothesline. Ellering now has Sid in again. Drops down from behind. Animal whipping Mean Mark into the ropes. Putting Mean Mark on the top turnbuckle. And now Ellering rams Sid into the ring post. The fans are on their feet. They're going crazy here for the Road Warriors. Animal going for the cover. 2, and a kick out by Mean Mark. And now all 6 men back in the ring. Oh, and a big right hand by Sid Vicious. Ellering backbreaker. An Animal climbing up to the top rope, drops an elbow on Mean Mark. Sid with a big clothesline. Animal Hawk goes for the cover, and Sid breaks it up. And Sid with a big kick to Precious Paul, and picks him up in some kind of and a Cobra slam down. A Cobra clutch slam. And Sid's gonna go for the cover. 1, and Hawk breaks it up. Hawk now going after Sid. And Sid says not so fast, and a big chop takes Hawk down. Now Animal coming. And Sid clotheslines Animal down. Oh, the action is so fast and furious here. Sid with a kick to the midsection. Again, a Cobra clutch. Could be another slam. And it is. Down goes Ellering. Going for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Precious Paul. Oh, and a close. Oh, a suplex by Dan Spivey on Hawk. Now Animal with a suplex on Spivey, but Spivey breaks it up. And a big kick by Sid. The Skyscrapers dominating right now. And Sid toying with Precious Paul. Big right hand. Another right hand blocked by Ellering. Reversing. A punch of his own. A clothesline. Takes Sid up and over. Ellering with a clothesline on Mean Mark. And a neck breaker by Hawk on Spivey. Ellering now climbing the second turnbuckle and hits a forearm on Mean Mark while Hawk drops a leg on Spivey. And Sid Vicious is making his way back into the ring. And clotheslines Animal. Oh, and a big kick to the stomach now. Has Animal up. Snake Eyes by Mean Mark on Precious Paul. And wait, Sid following Ellering outside of the ring. He has Ellering, wait a second, a choke slam on the floor, coming up. Sid Vicious choke slams Paul Ellering on the floor. Spivey going for the cover on out, and Hawk. And Sid going after Ellering. Ellering drop kicks Sid against the rope. Animal picking up Sid. Oh, and a clothesline by Paul. Paul says, no, I won it myself. Meanwhile, in the ring, Spivey powerbombs Hawk. This match could be over. Sid throws in Animal. Ellering throws in Sid. Spivey on top of Hawk too. And a breakout. Oh, the action fast and furious here. Now Animal has big Sid Vicious up in the Gorilla Press Slam. And down goes Sid. Mean Mark now working over Paul Ellering. Hawk with a backdrop over Dan Spivey. Now Animal, oh, a reversal by Sid. Scorpion Death Drop takes Animal up and over. And Sid throws Animal over the top rope. Breakup of a pinfall by Sid. Oh, wait a second, Sid Vicious has Paul Ellering. With a big power bomb, nails him. Sid nailed Paul Ellering with a power bomb. Up and over goes Animal. Sid going for the cover on Precious Paul. On a kick out by Precious Paul Ellering. Sid whipping Ellering into the ropes. Up and over. And now Hawk has Sid up for a pile driver. And he nails him with it. Animal throwing Spivey back into the ring. Oh man, pandemonium breaking up here. Animal has Spivey for a power bomb of his own into a pinfall. No! Animal breaking it up. Hawk has Sid on the shoulders. Samoan drop. And now Hawk has his eyes set on Sid Vicious while Paul Ellering offers instructions. Hawk on the top rope has his eyes set on Sid Vicious. Ellering going for the pinfall. Hawk with a clothesline on Sid Vicious. Hawk now going for the pinfall on Sid. And Mean Mark breaks it up. Oh man, what a match here thus far at the Great American Bash in Greensboro. We thank you for joining us. Sid reverses into a Scorpion Death Drop. Now Ellering working over Spivey. Sid throwing Hawk over the top rope. Oh, and a big clothesline by Sid. And Sid, again, Sid has his eyes on Paul Ellering. I think he permanently wants to take Paul Ellering out, per Teddy Long's instructions. And he has second choke slam on the concrete floor. Sid has Animal. Mean Mark working over Hawk, and Sid has Animal up. Could it be a power bomb? And it is. Sid goes for the cover. Animal's down 2 and 3. And the Skyscrapers in a dominating performance against the Road Warriors. Back and forth contest in a 6-man Texas Tornado match. And here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. Oh man, there was one of 2 choke slams on Precious Paul Ellering on the concrete floor. Yet Ellering was still in the ring when the pinfall occurred. And the Skyscrapers, this is called it what it was. They outlasted the Road Warriors here, getting the victory. Fans, we have much more action coming up including the U.S. title, as Lex Luger defends against Tully Blanchard. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. The following contest is between two former United States Tag Team Champions as Jim Cornette's Midnight Express, Beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane, take on former champions the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. It was the Rock and Roll Express who defeated the Midnight Express for the U.S. Tag Team Championship just 2 weeks ago at Clash of the Champions Guts and Glory. However, their title reign came to a screeching halt the second night of the Great American Bash Tour in New Orleans, when the fabulous Freebirds of Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes defeated the Rock and Roll Express for the U.S. Tag Team titles. So this match between these two teams should dictate the challengers going forward, or at least should have heavy implications of the challengers going forward for the United States Tag Team Championship. And here they are making their way to the ring. It's Beautiful Bobby on the left and Sweet Stan on the right. Of course, their manager, the loud and boisterous Jim Cornette, and the Midnight Express making their way to the ring. And it's funny, no matter what town they go in, the Midnight Express are either loved by the fans or hated by the fans. There's really no in between. And the fans here in Greensboro seem to like the Midnight Express. And we'll see if the fans change their mind during the course of this contest when their opponents, Ricky and Robert, make their way to the ring. And here they come, the former U.S. Tag Team Champions, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express. And these two men, interviewed shortly after losing the Tag Team Championships to the Freebirds, said, "We can't dwell on it, we need to concentrate on the future." And that future brings them here to Greensboro against former champions, the Midnight Express. So 2 out of 3 falls. And this contest between these two former U.S. Tag Team Champions should be quite the show here in Greensboro. And it looks like it's going to be Stan Lane starting out against Ricky Morton. And away we go. And Lane with a belly to back, up and over goes Morton. And Lane with the early advantage in the contest. And now Lane working over Ricky Morton. Leans him up against the ropes, and a big clothesline takes Ricky Morton outside, and Stan Lane following outside. And a beautiful hip toss by Stan Lane. Up and over goes Ricky Morton. And a big blow to the back of Morton, and Morton shaken up, and an elbow drop by Lane. And Lane picks up, and a backbreaker on Ricky Morton, and Ricky Morton's in trouble. Lane picks up the referee and the referee picks up Ricky Morton, throws him back into the ring. It's 4th of July weekend, and Gotmark76 had a few too many. And now Morton dragging Lane to the center of the ring. And Morton making the tag, and here comes Robert Gibson. Gibson allowing Lane to get back to his feet. A big punch. Now Lane, inverted atomic drop on Gibson. Not once, here comes a second one twice. And the inverted atomic drop and the Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express have a history. And now Lane with a big punch to the back of Gibson's head. And Gibson responds with a back punch of his own. Up, Lane, an atomic drop, and Lane goes down. Now Gibson climbing the second turnbuckle. Gibson can feel it. He's allowing Lane to get back to his feet. Jumps in a beautiful crossbody. Takes Lane down. And Lane trying to make a tag to Beautiful Bobby, but Robert Gibson cuts it off. And a big kick by Gibson, and Lane is down. But not for long. Lane reverses it. Picks up Gibson. And another backbreaker. And Gibson's down. You'll see in the upper right-hand corner, there is a 15-minute time limit on this match. Lane tags in Beautiful Bobby. And he'll see his first action in the match as he kicks over Robert Gibson. Now Eaton stopping away on the midsection of Gibson, and that had to hurt. And a kick to the back. And you can tell on the face of Gibson, who's in a lot of pain. Now Eaton working the arm, stomping away. Eaton picking up Gibson. And leans him up against the top rope. And now Eaton using the rope for leverage and stomping down on the chest of Robert Gibson. And Eaton grabbing the leg, but Gibson reverses it, and a kick to the knee. And the beautiful head scissors takeover by Gibson. Beautiful maneuver. And Bobby goes flipping around. Gibson goes over, makes the tag, and here comes Morton. And Morton and Gibson going at it. They both went for right hands. Morton landed his. Belly to back suplex, and Eaton's down. And now Morton stomping away on Beautiful Bobby, now working the arm. Morton has Eaton and rangs his head. What a maneuver. Now Morton going up top. What does Morton have in store here? A beautiful elbow drop nails Beautiful Bobby. And Morton in control. Going up to the second turnbuckle. And catering here to the fans here in Greensboro, who respond by standing on their feet and giving him their support. And now Morton, beautiful fist drop. And Eaton's in trouble. Morton now working the head area of Beautiful Bobby. Had a leg scissors wrapped around the head and was elbowing his head 3 times. Now Morton again going up to the top rope. This is the second time this contest. And Morton flies with a fist. Nails him right in the midsection. Beautiful Bobby in trouble. Morton picks him up and misses a drop kick. Oh, and he misses a double axe handle. And now a stalemate. Body slam by Morton, and down goes Eaton. 5 minutes have expired in this contest. And Beautiful Bobby looked like it was going for a slingshot. Morton got out of it. And a drop toe hold takes Eaton down, trying to make a tag to Lane. And Morton cuts him off. And now working the back of Eaton is Ricky Morton. Now a swinging neck breaker by Ricky Morton. And Ricky staying on top of Beautiful Bobby, whoops him into his corner. This could be some double team action, and it is. Tagging in Robert Gibson. And now a beautiful leg sweep down. And now working the leg. Beautiful maneuver by the Rock and Roll Express. Tag team extraordinaire. Eaton trying to make a tag, and does. And Lane coming into the ring. And is met by an elbow. Gibson takes Lane down. And now a series of right hands by Robert Gibson. Gibson whips Lane into their turnbuckle. And now picking up Lane. And a snake eyes across the top rope. Gibson whipping Lane into the turnbuckle. Could it be another tag team maneuver? It is. Tags in Morton. What do they have in store? Double clothesline, and Lane's down. And now Morton stomping away on Stan Lane. Morton working the back of Stan Lane. And whipped into the turnbuckle goes Lane. And now Morton using the top rope and the middle rope for leverage, working the arm of Stan Lane. Oh, and he misses with a drop kick on Lane. And now Lane with a kick to the midsection. Has Morton. Butterfly suplex, up and over goes Morton. And now Lane picks up Morton. Whips him into their turnbuckle. And can we see a double team maneuver on the Midnight Express? They tag in Beautiful Bobby, and it is. Snapmare takeover. Here comes the rocket launcher. It is the rocket launcher. And Eaton nails him. Could they be getting the first pinfall here? One. Oh, and Robert Gibson breaks up the pinfall. Wow, if it wasn't for Gibson, the Midnight Express would have scored the first pinfall in this contest. And Beautiful Bobby picks up Morton. And a backbreaker. And Morton is in trouble. And now Eaton climbing the top rope. Could he be dropping the leg? And he only drops a knee instead across the chest of Ricky Morton. Now stomping away on the knee. Bobby picks Morton back up. Has him for a suplex and up and over. More like a brain buster. And Morton's in trouble. And now Eaton has Morton inverted atomic drop. A lot of history there. He's going to go for the cover. Referee's down 1, 2, and 3. And that's the first pinfall of the contest. The Midnight Express lead 1-0. There are 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. And a Hurricane Rana by Morton takes Eaton down. Now Morton working the neck of Beautiful Bobby. And time is not on the side of the Rock and Roll Express. That first pinfall took nearly 9 minutes. And now a suplex and up and over. Now Morton goes for the cover and a kick out by Beautiful Bobby, not even a 1 count. And now Morton working the neck and the head area by dropping an elbow into the top of the head of Beautiful Bobby. And the Rock and Roll Express trying to mount somewhat of a comeback here. They're already down 1-0. There are 5.5 minutes left in the contest. And now Gibson tagged in. And a series of right hands on the face of Beautiful Bobby. And now Gibson picks up Eaton. Over the shoulder. And slammed into the turnbuckle. Oh, the top of Bobby's shoulders hit the top turnbuckle with a lot of force. And now Gibson reworking the neck area. It's a sound strategy on the part of Robert Gibson, working the upper back and the neck area of Bobby Eaton. And now stomping away and dropping a knee to the back. Why just work the upper back when you can work the lower back too? And now Eaton in trouble. Gibson picks him up. And a bulldog by Robert Gibson, and that could be it. They could tie the match right here. And wait a second, Jim Cornette having words with the referee. And Gibson saw that, did not go for the pinfall. Whips Eaton into the corner, tags in to Ricky Morton. And double drop kick. That could be it. Morton goes for the cover. Owen Lane breaks it up. And Gibson not in time to meet Stan Lane, who broke up the pinfall attempts. Now Robert Gibson drops a double axe handle on Eaton. There are 4 minutes left in this contest. The Midnight Express are up 1-0. And Morton whips Eaton into the turnbuckle. Another double team maneuver coming up on the part of the Rock and Roll Express. Again, working the legs. The fans now getting behind the Rock and Roll Express. You can hear them screaming their heads off. And they'll try to use that momentum to their advantage as Gibson backbreaks Bobby Eaton. And Eaton is down. And a scoop slam, down goes Bobby Eaton with brutal force. And now Gibson feeling it. He has 3.5 minutes left to get 2 pinfalls to win this contest. Going up to the second rope. And he's gonna drop an elbow, and he does. And Gibson in control. Bobby Eaton in trouble. Rolls out of the way. Ooh, and gets out of a slam by Eaton, but not out of a right hand. Gibson, another right hand. And a third, and a fourth. Sends Bobby reeling into the corner. Another double team maneuver on the legs. They have 2 minutes and 50 seconds to tie this up or win the match. And now Morton working over Eaton. Makes a wish. Oh, and Eaton's in trouble. He'll feel that in the morning. stretching out the legs and thighs. And now Morton picks up Eaton, who needs to make a tag. A big right hand, and drops him from behind. Morton feeling it, in control. There are 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this contest. Morton working the back of Eaton. And a beautiful arm toss, I guess, over the shoulder. And Morton, with a big discus punch, takes Eaton down. A minute 50 seconds. Rock and Roll has to hurry up. Front face lock by Morton. Has Eaton. And ramming Eaton into the turnbuckle. Tags in Gibson. Whips Bobby into the ropes. Drop toe hold followed by an elbow. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the contest. And Gibson goes for the cover one. And Lane breaks it up. And that may have just saved the contest. Morton has Lane. In a slam, and out goes Lane. He escapes it from behind. A backbreaker by Lane. And now Gibson stopping away on Eaton. And Cornette throws in a chair. And Lane, with a series of right hands, throws Gibson into the turnbuckle. Tags in Lane. Eaton holding Gibson while Lane jumps off the top rope and down on the arm. And a big clothesline takes them both down. Morton rolls out of the ring. Stan Lane's feeling at 49 seconds left in the contest. There's 40 seconds left. Midnight Express up 1-0. Lane drops an elbow. And I guess if you're the Midnight Express, you don't need to win. You're up 1-0. You're going to win the match anyway. And now Lane, more or less stalling time. Drops another big elbow, and Gibson's not moving. Lane picks up Gibson. And into the turnbuckle goes Gibson. And now a tag. Here comes another double team maneuver. Lane and Eaton whipped in, and a double elbow. And this match is over. The Midnight Express have won 1-0. Playing defense for the last 2 minutes of the contest, and the Midnight Express have won this contest. Even though it was 2 out of 3 falls, they won 1 pinfall to 0. Oh, fans, what a match between 2 former U.S. Tag Team Champions. And the highlights of the contest show that was a hard-earned victory. And Jim Cornette and Mama Cornette are very happy. Your winners, the Midnight Express. Fans, we have the U.S. title match coming up next. Lex Luger defends against Tully Blanchard. Don't go away. More Great American Bash from Greensboro after this quick timeout. And fans, welcome back to the Great American Bash in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm your host, Gotmark76, and our semi-main event of the evening is for the NWA U.S. Heavyweight Championship, as the total package Lex Luger defends against Tully Blanchard. Now, JJ Dillon will be in the corner of Tully Blanchard, and the rift within the Horsemen, as JJ Dillon is still on good graces with members Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham. And he will be accompanying Tully Blanchard to the ring area for this contest, this U.S. title match. And here he is making his way to the ring, one half of the current NWA World Tag Team Champions, Tully Blanchard. And he's looking to add U.S. Heavyweight Championship gold to his shoulder, his waist, what have you. Now, one would wonder, should Tully Blanchard win the U.S. title tonight, would he have to defend both championships at the Great American Bash pay-per-view in Baltimore? Something we should think about, I guess. But Tully, never giving up an opportunity for more gold, has this match nonetheless. And this place is going to erupt. And here they are. They rise to their feet here in Greensboro. And there he is, the United States Heavyweight Champion, the Total Package, Lex Luger. And the package ready for a war. And the fans erupting here in Greensboro, North Carolina for the Total Package. And that is what it's all about. The U.S. Heavyweight Championship. And Tully Blanchard getting introduced by the crowd. And now Lex Luger. And the referee checking both wrestlers. Rings the bell and we are set. And now Luger working and getting the early advantage over Tully Blanchard. And a kick to the chest of Tully Blanchard, and Lex Luger is in early control. And now Tully with a snap suplex of his own, and Luger's in trouble. Back and forth in the early going here. And Tully picks up Luger, who reverses it by driving an elbow into the stomach, and a clothesline takes Tully down. And now JJ up on the apron, getting the attention of Lex Luger. And Tully Blanchard from behind, going for a belly to back, but Luger reverses it into a crossbody. Back and forth action in the first couple minutes here. And Luger with a double axe handle to the back of Tully, and Tully's reeling. Luger drops the elbow. And JJ Dillon already making his presence felt in this contest. Luger picks up Tully, who reverses it into a scorpion death drop. And Luger holding onto the back of his head. Tully can feel it. Whips Luger into the ropes. Ooh, and a stalemate by Luger. Now Luger whipping Tully into the turnbuckle. And Luger picking up Blanchard. Could he be setting him up for a superplex? Luger climbing up. Has Tully. A superplex. Less than 5 minutes into the match, and Tully Blanchard's in trouble. Luger in control. Now stomping away on the upper back of Tully Blanchard, and now working the neck area. And Luger throwing Tully down to the mat. Drops an elbow. The package is feeling it. Stomping away now on Tully. And the lower back of Tully. And JJ distracting, having words with Luger. Again allowing Tully to recover. Tully back to his feet. And from behind has Luger. Into it looks like a butterfly suplex. Up and over goes Luger. And now Tully making a comeback with the aid of the interference of JJ Dillon. Blanchard belly to back suplex, and Luger goes over. Now stomping away on the back of the package is Tully Blanchard. Kicked in the midsection, the jab. And now Luger waking up, whipping Tully into the ropes. Big clothesline takes Tully down. Luger going back to the neck of Tully Blanchard. What a back and forth contest this has been for the United States Heavyweight Championship. And Luger picks up Blanchard. Oh, and a beautiful suplex up and over. It was more like a hip toss over a suplex. I don't know what to call that maneuver. And Luger now has a camel clutch on Blanchard. Is Blanchard going to tap? Luger's really raking it in. Tully can't escape. He's trying to, and he does. He reverses it. And Luger takes a face plant to the mat. Now Blanchard, a belly to back suplex, and Luger's in trouble. Now Luger holding his neck. And if Tully saw that, that's like a shark smelling blood. Blanchard, snapmare takeover again, working the neck of Luger. Has a headlock, working the neck of Luger. So Blanchard saw that Luger was clutching his neck and has gone after it ever since. And now Luger breaks a headlock. Picks up Blanchard, has him over the shoulder, guillotine! Over the top rope, and now Luger working the neck of Blanchard. Blanchard with a shoulder block takes Luger down, stomping away now in the package. Oh, and a reversal elbow by Luger. Blanchard whips Luger into the ropes, and a back body drop. Up goes Luger, and down crashing. Now Blanchard raking the eyes. And Blanchard snap suplex takes Luger up and over. And what is JJ doing? Throwing in a chair. If Blanchard uses the chair, he'll be disqualified. He will not win the U.S. title. Raking the eyes is Blanchard. Whips Luger up and over the top rope. And Blanchard's shoulder block takes Luger down. And the fans here trying to get behind Luger, trying to support Luger. Blanchard rolls to the outside floor. And a big right hand jab. Blanchard has Luger up on his shoulder. And he rams him into the guardrail. Are you kidding me? Blanchard in control on the outside, stomping away at Luger. The referee's count is up to 4, and Luger reverses it by throwing Blanchard into the guardrail. Picks up Blanchard, oh, and drops him face first. Luger in control, picks up Blanchard, throws him back into the ring. Luger follows suit. Blanchard was dropped over the guardrail, but Blanchard with a high knee lift. Up and over, Luger's down. Blanchard rolling Luger to the center of the ring. Goes for the cover, this could be at 1. And a kick out at 1. Oh, the fast and furious back and forth action here for the NWA US title. Blanchard slaps Luger. And Blanchard drops an elbow at the second turnbuckle. Luger's in trouble again, clinching the neck. And now Luger again, Blanchard choking out Luger. Again, he saw Luger holding that neck and went right for it. Now clamping, choking Luger again. Tully picks up Luger. Snapmare takeover again by the neck. And a side headlock by Blanchard. Methodical breakdown by Tully Blanchard, seeing Luger holding the neck and goes right for it. And Luger fights his way out of that headlock. Has Blanchard up in a torture rack out of nowhere. Luger has him in a torture rack. Is Tully going to submit? And Tully does. He taps. And Luger has retained the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Out of nowhere, hitting the torture rack on Blanchard. I don't believe it. And here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. And there's Luger getting that torture rack on Blanchard. Blanchard fought it for as long as he could. But your winner and still United States champion, the total package Lex Luger. And the fans here in Greensboro showing their appreciation to the total package. Fans, we have our main event coming up next. It will be Sting taking on Ric Flair. Do not go away. We'll be right back with more Great American Bash action from Greensboro, North Carolina, after this quick timeout. And welcome back to the Great American Bash in Greensboro, North Carolina. Sting challenges Ric Flair tonight for a matter of pride. It was last night in the Omni in Atlanta when Sting made Ric Flair tap out as part of that 4-on-4 elimination match. Now, the Horsemen went on to win the contest, but Sting made Ric Flair tap. So the NWA Championship Committee thought that Sting and Ric Flair should battle for supremacy here. in a contendership slot. So tonight's match will feature a future world title implications if Sting is able to defeat Ric Flair. And here he is making his way to the ring, the Stinger. And the fans love him here in Greensboro. They're on their feet and cheering and clapping hard. And we are now awaiting the arrival of the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And there he is, making his way to the ring. Now you'll notice that, again, JJ Dillon is not accompanying Ric Flair to ringside. It was that controversial match in which JJ Dillon caused Ric Flair to be counted out. That Ric Flair and JJ Dillon have not been seeing eye to eye. Now, other members of the Horsemen have been okay with JJ, but Ric Flair, since that altercation with JJ, since possibly costing him the NWA title, Flair has decided to go at it on his own. And if those results are any indicators, he tapped out the Sting last night and has lost many matches to Ricky Steamboat since. So I'm not one to speculate here, but JJ Dillon not being in Ric Flair's corner, let's just say, hasn't exactly helped. And the referee calls for the bell, and away we go. And Sting going for a chop, and Flair working down the leg of Sting. As Flair missed the chop, Flair ducked and grabbed Sting's leg. Now again working over the leg. And Flair picks up Sting, setting him up for a snap suplex and nails it. Up and over goes Sting. And now Flair choking out Stinger right in front of the referee. He does have a 5 count to break it up, and he does. And now choking him again. And Flair picking up Sting, whoops him into the ropes, reversal by Sting, up and over the rope goes Flair. And now Sting, gonna go up and over the rope inside the ring, suplex by Sting of the vertical variety, and Sting in control, stomping away now on the back of Flair. Sting picks up Flair, front face lock, and an elbow to the back of the head, and that stunned Flair. Sting whoops Flair into the ropes, up and over goes Flair again, and now a shoulder block, and Flair's down on the floor, and Sting is following suit. Sting stomping away on the Nature Boy, and the referee has begun his count. Sting picks up Flair, setting him up for a side slam on the concrete, and Flair is in trouble. His facial expression says everything. That hurt. And now Sting from behind, a belly to back suplex up and over, and Flair again in trouble, clinching his neck this time. Maybe he landed wrong. Sting going for a right hand, blocked by Flair, and a right hand of his own. A forearm smash has Sting in a high knee lift by Flair. The referee continuing the count. Owen Flair throws Sting back in and follows suit. Front face lock by Flair, picking up Sting again for a suplex, and he nails him with it. And now Sting holding his back. Flair drops Sting down again, working that leg of Sting. The left leg of Sting has been worked on all contests by Flair, and again, working the left leg of Sting. Setting up for a possible figure 4 later on the match. Goes for the cover. Sting's down 1, and a kick out at 1. And now Flair shoves Sting down to the mat. And a Greco-Roman eye rake by Ric Flair, and Sting's in trouble. Flair whips Sting into the turnbuckle, chest first, and Sting fights back with an elbow. More of a defensive move. Now picks up Flair. Gorilla press slam. Up and down goes Flair. Sting rolling over Flair. And now trying to make him tap out. Sting's knee in the lower back of Flair. Flair reverses it. But Sting kicks, punches, neckbreaker. Ric Flair down. Flair rolling to the outside. And Sting letting Flair get up and suplexes him back into the ring. And Sting can feel it, picking up Flair. Going for a body slam. Flair reverses it into a scorpion death drop. And now Sting holding the back of his head. Flair climbing that second turnbuckle, allowing Sting to get back up. And a double axe handle, and Sting goes down. Flair goes for the cover on top and a kick out at 1. And the fans starting to get behind Sting. Flair working the arm of Sting now. Stomping away. Again, the lower back all over Sting's back, Sting's leg, Sting's arm. And a slap. That's not going to hurt Sting. That's going to add insult to injury, though. When a grown man slaps another, that's more for insult purposes. Now Flair working the arm of Sting. And Sting needs to mount a comeback here, or this match is going to be over real quick. And now Flair stomping away. And now has a submission maneuver on Sting, driving his knee to Sting's back. And he's really raking Sting's neck up while driving the knee in the back. And Sting able to reverse out of it. Fired up, Sting whips Flair into a sidewalk slam. And Sting can feel it howling to the fans here in Greensboro, on their feet, howling back. Flair on the outside. Sting again suplexes Flair back into the ring. Front face lock, Sting picks up Flair. Flair reverses, Sting reverses, over the top rope goes Flair. And punches to the outside floor. This time Sting follows suit. Drops a leg on Flair. Referee has begun to count. Sting ramming Flair head first into the guardrail, clothesline from behind. And Flair now in trouble. Sting working the arm, slamming Flair's arm into the concrete floor. Are you kidding me? Sting picks up Flair. And a neck breaker again on the concrete floor. And both men are down. And the referees count up to 7. Both men may be counted out here. Sting up first. Gets back into the ring. Referee up to 8. Flair still down. Finally, Flair back to his feet and gets back in at 9. Shades of that match against Ricky Steamboat in New Orleans. Sting whipping Flair into the turnbuckle. Backs Flair up now. Setting him up. Stinger splash. Could he be setting him up for the Scorpion? Sting now stomping away at the back, the arm. Slamming down to the mat. Sting picks up Flair. And he's going to go for the Scorpion Deathlock. He has it. If he can turn him, it's going to be locked in, and it is. It's locked in, and Flair makes it to the ropes. Oh, that saves Flair. But Sting going to go for the cover. And then can pin him 1, 2, and 3. And Sting has won this contest. Ric Flair for 2 nights in a row, facing defeat at the hands of Sting. And the NWA Board of Directors has said if Sting won this match, he would be considered future title opportunities. Oh, fans, what a match. And Sting defeating Ric Flair, who again loses without the guidance of his manager, JJ Dillon. And the ramifications of JJ Dillon not being at ringside for Flair are more than I think any of us expected. Being as honest and blunt as I can, I never thought that the JJ Dillon not being at ringside would have this much effect on Flair, but it does. And your winner the man they call Sting. And that has to boost his confidence, knowing that he will be considered for future world title considerations. Fans, we thank you for joining us tonight in Greensboro. We'll be back with more Great American Bash action later on this week as we make our way up to the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Fans, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Gotmark76, and we'll see you at the matches. Good night, everybody.